All right, everybody. Welcome on back to the Rhodes Show, Week 17, Picks and Preview. I'm Big Brain. We got Guy here, and we had a damn good Sunday. Winning week across the board. 3-2 for myself, 3-2 for Guy, and 4-2 for our special guest. Guy, how was your Sunday?
My Sunday was good. Any Sunday in the green is good. Just got back from the Big Easy. Was in the Big Easy all week. Maybe that had something to do with it. 3-2, lost to beat the book, which is tough. But so I'm 3-4 and beat the book, and that's going to be tough for me to come down from, since I really reiterated on the show a few weeks ago that I was going to kick butt and beat the book. And it just hasn't happened yet, but we're going to get back on track this week. Good week overall. Love the board this week. Got a great feel for these games. I'm ready to get started.
You know, I unfortunately lost my beat the book as well, but 2 weeks ago, I guaranteed a winner. It was a winner. This week, last week, I didn't guarantee a winner, and it was a loser. This week, I'm guaranteeing another winner. Hop on the train now because I'm 1-0 in guarantees. Now, if you're a fan of the Rhodes Show, you know our special guests and our special guest track record. Let's be real, Guy. It's downright awful. But if you remember on the show, Marcc the Sharp, or Marky Stats, but this was Marcc the Sharp play. He had the Bills at plus 5,000.
Sprinkle these dudes to win the Super Bowl. I sprinkled them earlier this week at plus 5,000, so plus 5,000. They're currently down to plus 4,000. But on other books, it's floating around plus 3,500. DraftKings, you can still get plus 4,000. If they win this game, that's plummeting. Are you kidding me? They're going to be right back into the thick of it when it comes to the playoffs. You know, they're sitting there right now, 11 seed. Everyone's writing them off, right? Especially if they lose this game. But if I'm looking at the standings right now, if they win this game, get to 7-6, a couple other things happen, they're setting themselves up to make it run.
Now, the Bills are at plus 1,200. That is a Marky Sharp play right there. Kudos to Marcc the Sharp. Can't wait for him to come back on the show. Now, last week's special guest, the first ever plus 500, going 4-2, 2-0 on Beat the Book after a kind of faulty Thursday night play. Big fan of the show, knows it comes out on Friday, hits a Beat the Book Thursday play. We're going to let it slide because it hit with ease. Hits the regular Beat the Book, 4-2. And as a rule of this show, if you're a fan of this show, you know our special guests, if they go plus 500, they get to submit a pick for next week. So without further ado, Plus Money Porter.
What's up, guys? It's Plus Money. I'm back after my 4-2 appearance on the Rhodes Show last week. I got another pick for you guys for Week 17. It's the under 41.5 Steelers at the Seahawks. Now you might be saying, whoa, Mason Rudolph, huge performance last week. And I'm going to say fluke. He was at home, 2 long George Pickens catches, got him most of his points. He's not going into Seattle, 12th man, tough place to play, and scoring 20 points. And I also think that the Steelers defense is good enough to hold down the Seattle offense to under 20 points as well. So 2 teams scoring under 20 points. Give me the under, 41.5. Lock it in.
All right, everybody. Plus Money Porter. He's plus money on the season. So if you're going to ride with him, I'd ride with him now. He's hot. Now, this week's special guest, he's been dying to come on the show. Couple scheduling conflicts happened, but without further ado, I'd like to welcome on the show, Bean.
What's up, folks? How we doing today? It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for, working with my crazy schedule life, working in a hotel, 24-hour business, sometimes duty calls, but I'm happy to be and blessed to be on the show, guys.
All righty. Now let's get to our records to date. I get back to over 500 at 20-19-2, 2 weeks left in the season, looking to stay over 500 and be plus money for the year. Guy, we got some picks left. You need some winning weeks, 17-22-2. So you can see our special guest record, not too hot, but Plus Money Porter puts his name in number 1 by far at 4-2. Bean, you got some catching up to do here. It's not as easy as they come now. So let's get into
I'm guaranteeing a winning week.
Woo! Woo! You got a guaranteed beat the book and a guaranteed winning week, folks. This is electric. All right, let's get into the first pick of the day. Guys always start us off. We got the Detroit Lions on Saturday going to the Dallas Cowboys. Probably the last time we could bet the Dallas Cowboys at home. The over-under is 52.5.
Well, at 17 and 22 and 2 on the season, I'm predicting a 5-0 week here, and that just pushes me right back. And it all comes down to week 18. So we're going to get it started here, and we are going to take the Dallas Cowboys at home -5.5. The reason I'm playing this game is because Dallas has played 2 tough games on the road. Haven't necessarily looked great, but they did. I was impressed by them in Miami. I think that they were close. Typical Dallas didn't quite get it done. Detroit locked up the division last week. I think they're really just playing for nothing here other than pride, but I think this game means a lot more to Dallas. Dallas always shows up at home. Give me the Cowboys -5.5. Pretty easy pick here for the guy.
Bean, what do you got?
All right, so going into this game, I was looking at it, Detroit on the road, but what makes a difference? It's in the dome. And Detroit in a dome is a different team. I love the Detroit Lions +5.5 going into Dallas and making it a close game. They may not win, but I think they're definitely going to cover. That offense is going to score. What makes me worried is the defense, but the over looks good, but 52.5, that just looks like too many points. I got Detroit +5.5. I'm riding with the kneecaps, baby.
I look at this game and I see it's easy as well. I love the Dallas Cowboys -5.5. The Dallas Cowboys need this game more than any team in America right now. The Dallas Cowboys need to come back and look like a Super Bowl contender. And what better way to do it than on national television on Saturday night against the Detroit Lions, who just locked up the division. Marcc Stats, I put out a video with just his stats. You can go back and look at it. He laid down about 3 hours worth of Dallas Cowboys stats at home. Dallas Cowboys at home. I'm riding with it. It's the last time we could do it this year, and it's been unreal this year. Give me the Dallas Cowboys -5.5. I'm riding with the guy.
All righty.
All right, let's get into the next game. Bean, you can kick us off here. We got Antonio Pierce coming off his maybe job-securing win. The Las Vegas Raiders +3.5 coming against the Indianapolis Colts, who have not looked good. Their season's falling apart. But here we go. This is a big game to come back to it. Over-under's 43.5. Bean, what do you got?
Absolutely, absolutely. The Colts, it looks like the wheels have fallen off. The Minshew magic has ran out. That bottle has run dry. But the Raiders, they just seem determined. They're behind Antonio Pierce. He beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in Kansas City. That is a statement win. I love the Raiders and how they've been playing. Their defense is great, electric, forcing turnovers, rushing the passer. I think they could make this a greasy game, like a 13-9. I love the Raiders +3.5 going to Indianapolis and fighting for their playoff lives.
I'll go next here. This game, we went through the slate and it's not good again, and had to throw a game out there. So this is the game we laid on. It's the Raiders and it's the Colts. I like what Bean said about the Raiders muddying up. The Colts, unfortunately, their over is now 10-5 after losing last week. Offense didn't look good. Raiders defense is looking real hot. I'm interested to see if the roof is open or not. I'm going to have to wait till Sunday, I guess, for that. I don't know. This game, it's a flip-flop for me. And I'm looking at the total, either or. Do I ride the hot 10-5 over, or do I go with the Raiders muddying up? Aiden O'Connell didn't complete a pass in 3.5 quarters. Give me the under 43.5. I think the Raiders, like Bean said, they're going to muddy it up. Give me this under 43.5, and it's going to be a sweat.
Yeah, this game's tough. I picked Indianapolis as my beat the book last week. They looked terrible. I picked the Steelers to beat them the week prior. They looked very good. Raiders, I like what Antonio Pierce has done there, but they stink. Aiden O'Connell was 9 for 21 for 62 yards. They had 2 defensive touchdowns that propelled them to beat the Chiefs. something's going on with the Chiefs. But you know what? In the playoffs, I still got full confidence in the Chiefs in the playoffs until they prove me otherwise. I think it was a lucky win for Vegas last week. I'm also on the under 43.5 here. I think if anybody wins this game, I think it's Indianapolis in a blowout. But I just don't see how the Raiders are going to score. Is Jonathan Taylor back this week?
Yeah, he was back last week as well. But
Yeah.
look what they did against the Falcons. They didn't do shit.
I know. Like, the weird part about that Falcons game was everyone loved the Falcons. And I had no idea why everybody loved the Falcons. The Falcons stink as well. Indianapolis, I don't know what's going on with them. I have no read on the Colts. I have no read on the Raiders. That's why I like this under here. I don't like either offense. So give me the under 43.5.
What else was huge about the Colts last week was Michael Pittman was out, and that's Minshew's favorite target. He's on track to be back this week, so maybe the offense will turn it around. We'll see.
Well, either or, I like this under as well. If Indianapolis is going to win, and I'm in agreement, they're going to win like 30-10. Let's move on to the next game. Let's get off this shitter game into yet another shitter game, but this is basically for the NFC South, for a playoff spot. Well, maybe. But for the NFC South, we have the New Orleans Saints, the sad Saints, going to Tampa Bay. The over-under is 42, and Tampa Bay is a 2.5-point favorite. I'll start us off here. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucks 2.5. I'm riding the hot hand here. I love Tampa Bay. I love Baker Mayfield. I love what he's doing with this offense. He's taking control. This is his team. He is ready to go. I love it. I don't have much more to say. I just hate the Saints, and I love Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 2.5.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's been really hot. Tampa's won 4 straight. New Orleans is also, when I thought New Orleans was just way worse than they really are. They've won 7 games, but looking at their schedule, they've played a horrific schedule, terrible schedule. They got blown out in Tampa Bay early in the year. Tampa Bay looks really hot. 4-game win streak, blew out the Jacksonville Jaguars, who kind of look like they stink, but I kind of know that they don't stink. Baker Mayfield, he looks pretty good here, but give me the New Orleans Saints plus 2.5.
Damn.
There's just something about the New Orleans Saints plus 2.5. I like the way that they looked against the Rams last week. Even though they lost that ball game, that came down to the wire. I think Chris Olave is really turning it on right now, finding some chemistry. They do have a nice run game. Their defense, they have good guys on defense with Cam Jordan and what's his name? Demario Davis, middle linebacker.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. He's pretty solid.
I don't know why I like the Saints in this game, but it's greasy, and I'm a greasy guy. So give me the Saints plus 2.5 here. Don't love it. Don't hate it.
I got to be in agreement with Big Brain and Tampa Bay minus 2.5. I'm riding the hot hand. Baker Mayfield has just been playing unbelievable football. The Bucs are turning it up at the right time. I don't think anybody wants to go into Tampa Bay going into the playoffs with how hot they're playing right now. I would feel pretty queasy. I love Tampa Bay minus 2.5. I love their defense. Levante David, 10th straight year with 100 tackles. That's just amazing within itself. I love Tampa Bay minus 2.5, blowing out the Saints.
And let's give some love to Mike Evans. Mike Evans is one of the best receivers we've ever seen in the last like 10 years, I'd say. He gets 1,000 yards every year. He's a beast, and Baker's finding him, and he's still got Godwin, who I don't know, something's been going on with Godwin for the last year and a half, but if he's healthy, he's electric. I love Tampa Bay in this game. Tampa Bay going to lock up the division, and like Bean said, no one wants to go into Tampa Bay and play the Bucs. Bean, I'm going to let you kick us off here with the last one. You got the outfit on. We got the Miami Dolphins at +3 looking to lock up the AFC East, going to the red-hot Baltimore Ravens, who just embarrassed the 49ers at their stadium. Over-under is 47.
So, to start us off, this has been a long time coming for me as a lifelong Dolphins fan for 18 years. Haven't been this close to greatness. Haven't been this close to home field ever. So this is a first time for everything. I just love the Dolphins going into this game. It isn't even me being a homer pick. The last couple of times the Dolphins have played Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, He has looked human. We have sacked him. We have knocked him around, and especially with how well our defense has been playing since Jalen Ramsey has come back. It has been locked down. The pressure in the middle from Zach Sealer, from Christian Wilkins, from Andrew Van Ginkel, from all the guys from Chubb. We got people playing all over the field. I love the Dolphins +3, and I also love the under 47. I think it's going to be
a double
battle
play
in Baltimore.
Go ahead,
Guy-
Big Brain.
All right, I'll go here. Tough to follow up that Dolphins dick sucking right there, but I also love the Dolphins +3. I said it 2 weeks prior. The Dolphins, I thought they were going to lose to the Cowboys. They ended up winning, but I knew and I am confident that they beat Baltimore in Baltimore. Now, next week when they have to play the Bills at home, I don't know about that, but they don't want to have to play the Bills for the AFC East. The Dolphins need this game. They need to win. That's why I love them +3. Dolphins may come out and win this game. I'm probably playing the money line, but for the show, I'm definitely playing the +3.
Yeah, this game's all honestly, it's definitely the best game we have this week. I'm actually shocked that they didn't flex this to Sunday night.
It's at 1 o'clock. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a terrible game, and you know I'm down here in the DMV area. I'm off on Monday. I might even slide up to this game if tickets are available. I got nothing to do. Maybe I get the boys in the van and we head on up to Baltimore to see this shootout. But I will say to hold your horses on this game. I really like what you picked about the under there being. Tua is 2-8 straight up as a road dog, and he's 3-6-1 against the spread. Lamar Jackson, not that much better, 14-23 against the spread as a home favorite. He is 27-10 straight up. I will say that. 3 is a very square number on this game, but I'll tell you what, I've watched a lot of the Ravens. I've watched a lot of Dolphins football. I know Bean is a monster Dolphins fan. Bean, quick question for you.
What's up?
Have the Dolphins ever impressed you when it comes down to the wire your entire life?
I will give you an example. Last year in Baltimore, week 2, they were down 21 going into the fourth quarter, and they came out electric. Tua had a game-winning drive and a touchdown with 18 seconds left. And I will even say last week against the Cowboys, having that game-winning field goal drive. That has impressed me. That clinched the playoffs. Yes, it's been few and far between, but those 2 examples, them going into Baltimore last year really proved that Tua is a great quarterback, and he took the next step that game.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're talking about week 2 from last year. Pretty irrelevant in my mind being Dolphins are the biggest frauds in the NFL right now. I know you hate to hear that. Dolphins are one of the most fraudulent teams I've ever seen in the NFL. Fraudulent. The Baltimore Ravens kicked the dog shit out of the best team in the NFL last Sunday, or it was last Monday. I mean, destroyed them. Dolphins aren't doing that to the 49ers. Dolphins should have lost this game last week to the Cowboys, my Cowboys. Total ref show in that game to drive Miami down all the way. Give me the Baltimore Ravens -3. No Waddle's out for the Dolphins. I'm sure Tyreek will start limping around, doing his little antics. Mike McDaniel, he lets him do whatever he wants. It ain't going to fly in Baltimore. This is AFC North football. You might be able to say, oh, well, the Dolphins have beat some decent teams. Really, who have they beat? The Cowboys? Other than that, I mean, the Ravens have just continued to prove it all year. I love the Ravens in this spot. -3 at home. Crowd's going to be into it. They can clinch up the division as well, even though they're already pretty much at hand. But they're playing for the number 1 seed here. Number 1 seed on the line in Baltimore, 1 p.m. Give me the Baltimore Ravens and Lamarvelous Jackson -3. I love this game.
Expect us. That's all I got to say.
Well, time for everybody's favorite part of the show. As always, Bean, special guest, kick us off, the Beat the Book play of the day.
All right, my Beat the Book play of the day. It's a little unique. I got 2 plays here. I got Durham. Since you were talking about Tyreek Hill, no Waddle, I got Durham Smythe over 19.5 receiving yards this Sunday. He caught Shot 5 for 56 last week against the Cowboys. I bet his over last week. It was 14.5. I think he's going to have a big week this week. And then my other beat the book play, I love the Patriots plus 12 against the Buffalo Bills.
They're now
Bill-
plus 13, so they even got a point there.
So plus 13, I apologize. I love Bill Belichick and how he's had the boys playing up in New England, playing tough. For some reason, I think Josh Allen, his kryptonite is the New England Patriots. I think they're going to play him tough and cover. I think it's just too many points for a division game.
So my beat the book play of the day. I said it pre-show. I hate this pick. Makes me love it. Give me the Carolina Panthers plus 6 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Carolina Panthers are going to find a way to win this game even, and they're going to screw the Chicago Bears out of the number 1 pick. Something about the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is injured in every part of his body. The Panthers, somehow they found a way back in that game last week. Bryce Young is actually looking decent. For Panthers fans, he needs to look decent towards the end of the year so they have something to look for. I don't know. I hate it so much. I love it. Carolina Panthers plus 6.
I was on the Panthers. It was not on the show last week, but I took the Panthers last week. People just love leaving the back door open for the Carolina Panthers.
It's always open.
And believe me, folks, Carolina Panthers stink. I mean, it's not even one of those like we're like, oh, it's a sneaky good team. They're getting better. No. They are not getting better whatsoever. They actually stink. I'm just glad that Big Brain didn't pick my beat the book. I came prepared with 2, but I'm only going to use 1 here. Give me the Rams minus 5.5 at the New York Giants. New York Giants played a tough game against the Eagles last week. Tyrod Taylor came in, but the Eagles, I mean, I mentioned that the Dolphins are frauds. The Eagles are right up there with them. I mean, the 49ers took their soul when they played them. They almost lost to Tyrod Taylor last weekend. And people want to talk about how they're such a great NFL team. Now I respect Tyrod Taylor. Done a lot in the league, been in the league a long time, good leader, always somehow gets hurt and screwed out of the starting job, can never actually start a full 17 games. But I like Tyrod Taylor, but I think the Rams are just playing good football right now. If you're also looking for another pick, you know what, Big Brain, you can add this to my card because this seems too easy as well. Give me the San Francisco 49ers minus 12.5 at the Washington Commanders.
That pick.
The Washington Commanders are atrocious. They're starting Jacoby Brissett this week. I don't even believe Sam Howell's hurt. I just think that they're like scared that he's going to just lose his confidence. But let Jacoby Brissett get in there. He's going to be in the league for another 5 years as a backup. I mean, Washington traded away their entire franchise, which was their defense. At the deadline, they traded away their defensive line. They just stink. San Fran, they're a good squad. I still think they're probably the best team in the league. Hard to argue that the Ravens aren't, but San Fran's dominated all year. Ravens have looked shaky at times. Give me the San Francisco 49ers minus 12.5 and the LA Rams minus 5.5 in New York.
You know what? For the show, for everyone having 2 beat the books, I got another beat the book. Give me the Green Bay Packers plus 1 Sunday Night Football at Minnesota. Minnesota just said they're starting Jaron Hall. Again, they're flip-flop, snip, snap with their quarterbacks. Jordan Love's looking decent. They still have a chance possibly to make the playoffs. Give me the Packers plus 1 Sunday Night Football. I'm going to beat the books for the first time ever. 2 guarantees, if you remember.
That's a good pick, Big Brain. For those of us that have more things in life to do other than watch football, other than myself, I can remind the audience here that Jaron Hall stinks. So Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love looks pretty good. Jaron Hall stinks.
He can't look any worse than Nick Duck Mullins, though.
So if you play the parlay, we got Darren Smythe over 19.5 yards receiving, New England Patriots plus 13, Carolina Panthers plus 6, Rams minus 5.5, Niners minus 12.5, and the Green Bay Packers plus 1. If you put $20 on it, you win $950.
This one's going to hit this week, folks.
This one is hitting.
Read about these picks.
So, you know what? Just thought of this now. figured might as well. It's going to be Monday night. We have no Monday Night Football. Let's give the people a Monday night special, the college football playoff semifinal special play of the day from the Rhodes Show.
All right. I like that. What shall I go first?
Go ahead, Bean.
All right. I was looking at the games and everything, and everybody's humming Michigan, and like they're like, "Oh, Michigan's gonna win, Michigan that." But you kind of feel like a dumbass when you bet against Nick Saban. I love Alabama money line. Give it to me. Give me Alabama straight up. I love them to just go in there and kick some ass and just say, "We're Alabama. We're the top dog. Get out of here, Michigan. Go home." And then for the last game, Texas and Washington, I want to see a rematch of the BCS championship. Give me Texas straight up money line as well. I love them to cover too. I think it's 4.5. I think they're going to just absolutely kill Washington, and it's a gentleman's game. And I think the Big 12 is back. Horns up, baby.
I'll tell you what, Bean. I hear your logic on that, and that's how I thought for a long time. The problem I'm having with the college football playoff right now is everyone is already rewriting this rematch between Texas and Alabama, which means give me Washington +4. Love Washington this year. Everybody's counted Washington out for the last 3-4 games of their season, and they just keep continuing to show up. They got something about the Washington Huskies program. They don't care who the hell you are. They're just going to come in there and kick your ass. Now, the big game for me, obviously, is Alabama, Michigan. Absolutely hate Michigan. Even pains me to say that school's name. Cheaters, everything about them smells bad. Their attitude stinks. They're cocky. Saban now is the classy old guy. People forget about the ruthless Nick Saban these days. Saban's going to have these guys ready to go. For whatever reason, though, I kind of like Michigan to beat Alabama. As bad as I hate that, but whoever wins this Alabama-Michigan game is going to lose the national championship. The winner of Washington, Texas will win the national championship. Give me Washington +4. And what's Michigan here?
-1.5.
I'm not even going to take it because I don't like the root for them. I don't want to root for Michigan whatsoever. It's just a no play for me. But if I got to take a side, give me Michigan to -1.5.
So I look at these two games and I see two opposite games. I see Michigan, Alabama, and it's two dog shit offenses. Jalen Milroe stinks. JJ McCarthy stinks. If some team drafts him in over the 6th round next year, they're idiots. Give me the under in Alabama, Michigan. I think this game is just going to get ugly. It's just going to be ugly. It's going to be a good football game, but if you are expecting a high-flying, electric game in the Rose Bowl, it's not going to be. It's going to come down to the wire like it always does in the Rose Bowl, but give me this under 45. And Texas, Washington, give me this over 63.5. I'm with Guy. I think the winner of this game wins the national championship. I think these two offenses look potent. Quinn Ewers, Michael Penix Jr. I think this game is going to be fucking awesome. And give me this over 63.5, and that's going to be for the national championship. So that's what we're riding with this week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. 5-0 week, 5-0 week, 5-0 week. Thanks, as always, to Bean for joining the show. Take it easy. Stay daggish. Let's win some cash.
Stay daggish.